Hello there mate, and welcome to a brand new video. Now today we are going to be testing ARK's patch. Now the reason why we're testing ARK's patch is because we just tested ARK's patch, and now that we've tested the patch, people are now frustrated because it's fixed one thing but then caused another problem. So here we are to test it. So if you guys enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe, and you're probably wondering, what are we testing? Now, yes, we tested the Megalodon fix, and the Megalodon fix has gone down amazingly. Everyone's really happy. You don't ever have, like, about 1,000 Megalodons attacking you before you want to do anything in ARK, which is brilliant. But it has created a new issue, and the new issue is that many people are complaining that the oceans are now very empty. So, how does Studio Wildcard win in this situation, you may ask? I'm probably thinking, just start flooding it with flocks of fish or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, so it's time to delete all single player saves. And it's time to head back to the island, and we're going to be investigating. Is this going to be truly a problem that Studio Wildcard need to look at? Or is this going to be okay? Single player, here we go. So, what's that outside? So you may have noticed with the new setup, I've got a little bit more light. Now this curtain is old and it needs to be replaced. Oh, there's a helicopter up there. And it needs to be pulled over this way more. So I am missing a little bit of light, but we've got our trusty light here. And when the full setup is complete, a lot should be better. But I'm hoping my voice sounds better. It's definitely less echo here than it used to be back in the old place, which is great. So, Dom, create. In we go. So we're just going to spawn here, skip past all of this because everything's completely brand new. And we're heading straight into creative mode. Are the oceans now too quiet in the world of ARK Survival Ascended? That's what we'll be finding out today. Right, so we're in creative mode, and we have turned off fog, and we have turned off the clouds. I always just think it looks so much better. I mean, 20 times better if you're ever going to try and get a thumbnail made, I'll tell you that. That's what I've always loved about the changes of Ascended. But so there's two different videos, and the video we did first, it was the Megalodon video where we got swarmed by them. And when the patch went live, everyone had told me about how they feel like it's changed, and we did a test and it has seriously changed. Now, is the ocean too empty is what the people are saying. So this is a brand new spawn. So at the moment we just got an itchy chilling around us. Now within probably seconds of getting in the water before the patch, I was attacked by at least 15 Megalodons. And it took time to herd them all up. But as we're spawning in, and actually, let's say we're just a survivor wanting to be on his way, swim down. I have to say, it's very quiet. We've got this little guy following us around, which is no problem whatsoever. But clearly, massively, especially noticed on the island, and I did notice on the other maps too, it's a lot more quiet. It really is. So instead of boring you by us swimming slowly, we can now swim down here and we can just have a little look. So you can get yourself easily to the bottom of the ocean, and we have no threats from the Megalodons, which I am happy about this change. I'm not changing my stance on that. I am happy with Wildcard's decision to do this. But the biggest question people are saying is now they feel like the ocean is too empty. And that's what we're looking at today. Is the ocean now way too empty? I think so. I do. That's just my opinion at the moment. We had a Megalodon over here somewhere. There's the Megalodon. So we do have a Megalodon. They've sorted out those spawns perfectly. And the reason I say that is when the Megalodon hopefully gets a TLC, it will be bigger, it will be scarier, and it will be much better for the game. And I cannot wait to make my first video on the Megalodon TLC. They needed to be rarer, and that's what I'm glad Studio Wildcard have made the change there. But it is very, very quiet. And I do believe that there needs to be more fishes. There does. Now, that's a very cool looking Megalodon, if I say one thing there. But the lack of other fishes in the game is clear to me straight away. So I do believe it would be in Studio Wildcard's best interest there to bring the ocean a bit more to life on the island. Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you need to be, you know, attacked and you know, and everything needs to be. But even the birds in this game don't have any food to eat. They're gonna go extinct because they have nothing. There's nothing to eat. There's nothing to eat in this game. Literally. I mean, you'll probably find where you want to fish more. Oh, there is a Meg here. So there is a Megalodon still in shallow waters. But this is probably... Oh, there's another one here. But you've probably got more luck in shallow waters in ARK at the moment. Yeah, look. You've literally got more luck in the shallow waters. And I think that's what is the problem at this moment in time. Is that, you know... What is going on there? Some real glitchy stuff going... What? Oh, right. What the... Why does that look so like... I mean, they're going to get destroyed. But anyway, so we're losing the track of the video. So that's what we're trying to say. The shallow points of the water seem to be the best place to get yourself your fish. Because they seem that you know, why would you go to the larger ocean if you need to farm fish? And it just doesn't, there doesn't seem a point there. So I think they need to bring that back. I think we've crashed and we're going to now spawn back in, aren't we? We've gone too high too quick. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, let's get into the next map. I was actually about to do a pause, but no. We will just exit, because what's the point? There's no point needing to do that. Press the start, create, and now we will go on to Rag, as we last did, so single player. Skip through all of the stuff that we don't need to see, and we'll give it a try, because clearly it does seem to be an issue. Right. As we always spawn in. Right. We're in. Turn off the clouds. Turn off the fog. I only think we need to do that once anyway. Get the Gaia commands on. And now we should be able to toggle creative mode and have a little peek down here. So, from what I remember when we did the last Megalodon test in the video the other day, is we did actually start to get surrounded by quite a few here as we went further in. There's one, and I do remember we did start getting followed by quite a few of them. There's 1, 2, and I think, but when I say quite a few, it was about 7, I think the maximum was in the end. Rag, I think, overall just has so much more life to it. I really do. I think we all know that. We all know the case of just Ragnarok is just overall the best map that's been released on ASA by a mile. Because it was built in 5.5. And that's what makes it just so much better. And that's why it's so popular compared to the other maps. I mean, the floods of people that play Ragnarok instead of some of the other... I mean, Astraeos, I still think is like a fantastic map. I generally love Astraeos. But people are choosing more to play on Rag than they are Astraeos. And that is just down to how the game has, you know, how they've built the DLC. So it's definitely a lot more friendlier. And you know, the lack of Megs It's weird now. I've been complaining about it. Now they're finally being, I was about to say gone. They're not gone, but it does feel weird to just be flying around, and the ocean needs a new spring of life. And I'm not saying predators, by the way, that need to be added in. There's a Megalodon here. I'm just saying there needs some life in there. Fish is flying around, tropical fish, excitement. And it needs that. It really does. Because without that, you are just left with nothing, then a Megalodon. Now, bear in mind, I don't, you know, we've got fog off. But it needs that. And I hope Studio Wildcard can see this video so we can actually sort of tell them what we feel like as a community, just to give it a little bit more life. Because it's going to come to a point where, hello, you want to be friends? Look at that mouth. Look at that mouth. Chomping time. Ready? Get chomped. I love that. What a great addition that was to the game. It really was. But yeah, look. Why go anywhere else where you just head over to the shallow areas? I know you got the swamps, never a place anyone ever wants to go in the world of ARK, but yeah, look at that. Very cool. But yeah, so that's Ragnarok. And I do think, to be honest, even though we've only been on 2 maps, I think it does sort of show us exactly what a lot of people are feeling like, because it does need just something to bring the ocean back to life. And that's the only thing that could have done well with Aquatica. When Aquatica came out, I'm sure that would have done great for ARK, for ASA, adding in some new creatures, but clearly that didn't happen. But anyway, guys, that is going to be pretty much the video. I mean, we can load into Astraeos, but to be honest, there's not like that much else that I mean, Astraeos, I guess it is interesting to see whether things are gonna, because it does have a lot of ocean life. So let's quickly jump onto Astraeos and just see if that's got the same problem. Right. So what is everyone up to with their lovely Tuesdays? Tuesday is my worst day. The only reason it's my worst day is because it's always very quiet. But at least Valguero is launching on Tuesday. So I always love that. I always love when they do a launch on a Tuesday, if it doesn't get delayed. Right. Here we go. Let's load in. Get our admin commands ready. I think we might have to do that again. Do we have to do that again? I think I did it too early. Oh, no, we don't. All good. And then it's whack creative mode on, and we shall move. And now this is the area we always check out. So what I always remember with this, so when before the Megalodon update was put in place, there was about 10 here straight away. There is 2, 3. So there is a bit more life, to be honest, in this shallow spot. So as for like underwater life, I would much prefer probably being on Astraeos, because it does make you feel a little bit more like there's actually life down there and places to explore. And I've always loved that with Astraeos. I have to say, it's definitely, I'd say Rag's my favorite and Astraeos is a close second for me. I just thought this map was such a breath of fresh air, and that's what's going to be interesting with that's what's going to be interesting when Val launches. Like, what are they going to do with it, especially now it's going to be in 5.5. But this was a masterpiece by Nakatis. It truly was. Again, it's these like kind of like deeper spots that are lacking. You know, there's lots of mantas around, but it's just lacking a bit. And I don't want them to be over flooded. I don't want them to be anything like that. That's not what I want at all. They just need a voice. That's what I'm going to say. They need a voice, and they're screaming out for it. And hopefully Studio Wildcard can make that change closer to the time. But anyway, my friends, that is going to be the video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below.